Good evening, guys, and welcome back to What Sold Sunday. I am Bowden. It's lovely to have you along this evening. If you don't know me, I am a part-time reseller. I sell on eBay, Depop, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, all those sorts of places, and even garage sales this week. But it's lovely to have you along on the ride as I try and traverse my way into self-employment, financial independence, all those sorts of things, because I have two young boys and I happily can say I have a wife who is going to start studying to become a doctor. So my wife is a dietitian and she's sat her GAMSAT exam, she's sat her situational awareness, I don't know what they all are, but she's gone through the whole lot, done the interview, and has this past week been accepted into uni to study to become a doctor. So super proud of her, super awesome. It does mean a couple of changes obviously in our lifestyle over the next couple of years, 4 years at least while she studies, and just have to manage that. So hopefully this new venture into reselling that I've started this year and started to sort of take on as a more professional level is going to pay off in giving me the freedom to spend time with my boys, be available for, being with them when my wife is at uni. But yeah, that's just one of those things. I thought I'd actually start off tonight, rather than taking you through what has sold, I thought I'd actually show you over here. So if you remember, I had a big TV unit and a whole bunch of other stuff over here. Well, that has been cleared out. There is now nothing on these shelves except for my my CCTV recorder. These two surfboards are one of my workmates, but it's so nice to have that all empty. Everything that was there on that TV unit is has either been sold at our garage sale or is going to be donated. It's just all stuff that we don't really need as a family, and so we're going to move it on. So it's nice to have that spare so I can start moving all of my family stuff out of the sort of the dump room over here. I'll turn this light on and take you in because it's a bit scary. Yeah, everything's just kind of been piled in here, including my bits and pieces, boxes and whatnots, and Christmas decorations and camping gear and mannequins and all that sort of stuff. So my goal is to not trip over boxes in the doorway, but is to get all of that stuff that's personal out of that room and over onto those shelves, and then move all of my product from here back into that dark, dingy room there, so that essentially the business is a little bit more contained in there and not so much spilling out into the space where, my wife might be wanting to come in and do stuff. And just so you can see as well, in this room here, you'll see that essentially this is my to be listed pile, so future listing piles. I've sorted it all out this week, but that's all, again, to get that all out of our tool room here and to be able to organise this a little bit better is just something that I wanted to get on top of before the end of the year. And then, super exciting, we got back to D&D this week. So I've been playing D&D for about 5 years. I've been DMing. This is our third campaign now. And so we've just gotten back to face-to-face, which is super exciting. It's been a lot of fun. It's one of those things that I started... I'm going to sit down because I'm going to go into a little bit more depth here. But I started playing D&D a couple of years ago. My wife and her best friend used to go away on girls' weekends. They'd have girl catch-ups, all these sorts of things. And as an adult male, you kind of fall away from that if you're not trying hard with some of your mates. So I, as a very nerdy sort of guy, said to a couple of my mates, let's just play D&D. There was 4 of us or 5 of us at the time. I said, I'll DM. We'll just do it. It's a way that we can catch up once a fortnight, have a bit of guy time. It's open slather, alcohol, food, all that sort of stuff. Bring, eat what you like. But just a chance for guys to hang out, have a bit of fun. And yeah, it started out with the 5 of us. We've had some people come, some people leave. There's now essentially 8 of us playing. And it really is one of the best mental health things that I do, and I know that some of the other guys in the group do. Just a chance to de-stress, to not have to worry about anything, have a bit of fun, eat bad food, drink, meet up with people. It's one of those things. And like I say, this is where we get a little bit real. I suffer from anxiety and depression. I do seek professional help for that. And I'd highly recommend anyone out there who struggles, and especially over the last 2 years has struggled. It's nothing to be ashamed of to have mental health issues. It's quite normal. And, I tried to deal with it with the professional, seeing my psychiatrist, till it got to the point where I needed to seek medicinal help as well. So, which has been fantastic. Like, I cannot tell you how much better I am, and I'm sure my wife would agree, since I've been on medicinal support for my anxiety and depression. So if you're out there and you're questioning it, I can only encourage you. I can't force you. I can't tell you you have to. I can only encourage it. If you're struggling with your inner thoughts, your mental health, your self-worth, go and talk to someone. And in saying go and talk to someone, if you're not happy with the first person you see, you don't have to stay with them. Go find someone else. Treat them like a pair of shoes or a pair of pants. If they aren't comfy, if they don't make you feel good, move on to the next one. I went through 3. I had a mature lady who was very well spoken for, suggested to me by a lot of people. Didn't click. Did not click. Moved on to a gentleman who I had heard helped a bunch of other guys who were dealing with similar issues to myself in regards to self-worth. And again, just didn't click until I found my third one. She's fantastic. So, yeah, I can't explain what it is that works for us, but each person needs to find someone that is encouraging and supportive and understanding for them. And that's one of the big things that I would say. And so for me, I try and find those little things outside of our time together, for my psychiatrist and I, that allow me those means of escape and ability to improve my well-being, my state of mind. And one of those things, like I say, is D&D. So I'm super happy that's back. However, this last week has been rather difficult mental health-wise, and I've struggled a bit. One of my big triggers is finance, and I think the fact that last week was the first week where I've worked for myself in my life, it's very, very challenging mentally to me. And I'm coming to terms with that, and I'm trying to not let it stress me out, but it is. Because, this thing that has been a hobby and that has allowed me to spend money willy-nilly a little bit because we've had this extra cash and it's just been a bit of fun, and I've been building the business and buying stuff on the side and all that. I now have to rein that in until I'm at the point of where it's earning more money for me than what I'm spending. So, in regards to like mortgage and all that sort of stuff. So, it's difficult. It's challenging. It's something that you have to confront as a business owner, and so it's a good learning curve. But there's a challenge to it internally for me that I have to come to terms with, because money is a huge trigger point for my anxiety. I know a lot of parents, not just men, but a lot of parents stress about, having enough money for their kids, having enough money for the mortgage, all that sort of stuff. And I think just being self-employed now and having those stresses, it's a new thing to stress over that I've never had to before. And so, I look at how much I've earned by doing this reselling business since February, and the fact that, I should be around $8,000 up in what I've spent to what I've earned, and the fact that I don't have a lot out of that $8,000 to show for, apart from things that I've bought, etc. It's kind of nerve-wracking. I could be in a lot more comfortable position if I hadn't have spent money on things that I enjoyed and things that brought me joy, and things that gave me a sense of purpose. So that's where I have to learn to weigh up the mental aspect of why did you do that, and beating myself over the head with look at what you're achieving, look at what you got, be super grateful, be super thankful, and I am, and that's where it comes to. So, yeah, it just takes a little while for me to work through things, and that's kind of the purpose sometimes of what this channel is me documenting both for you, for myself, to understand, and to be open, because the last thing we want to do is kind of hide the reality of the situation. I never would ever want anyone to think that everything's peachy and rosy and easy and brilliant when it's not. There's a lot of hard yards, there's a lot of challenges, but that's, the case with any business that you own and that you grow and that you develop. So that all being said, let's get back to what we sold this week. I hope you give me a little bit of time there as I go through that, because it's important for me to vocalize some of that, and you guys are the point where I vocalize it. But let's look at what we sold, and then let's go from there. So we'll start out here. Conker's Pocket Tales for the Game Boy. Does all work. Strange little game. Don't really understand it. Bit of a runaround thing, but hey, it's sold, and that's what we're aiming for, is to sell product so we can pay our bills, and that has sold. I then have this vintage, new old stock, so Crew Astro Boy. Yeah, just cool little things. Sold it to someone who lives about 30 minutes away from me. So if you're from America and you're hearing 30 minutes and thinking, wow, that's a while away, in Australia it's kind of like the next suburb kind of thing. So yeah, if you know where like Nowra and Falls Creek is, and then you know where Kiama is, you'll understand how close it is. Here is a Jurassic World kid-sized authorized hat. So you'll see there on the tag, Universal City Studios. So that's cool. That's going out the door. We also have here the Mitchell & Ness Charlotte Hornets hat. So anyone would know that LaMelo Ball is the man. He has been killing it. This is for the Hornets, who he plays for, and they've started out really strongly this year. So that's pretty cool, and that's going out to a new owner. Again, in the vein of the anime, this is Robotech. Robotech is a long sort of anime, and this is one segment of that. It's the Macross Saga. I don't really understand that, but that's what it is. Kind of tried to have a look into it. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. Driver 3 for the PlayStation. Again, guys, I cannot explain how much these sorts of driving, racing, all sorts of stuff. So Driver was a bit of a challenge to GTA. Never really went as far, but was a pretty good game, pretty fun, and so that has sold for us. Motocross Mania 3. Yeah, I'm guessing you ride around and hit people with bats. That's what it looks like. Never played it, but so it be. MX vs ATV Unleashed, featuring Australia's Chad Reed. So there's a lot of talk recently about sealed games, etc., and them having worth. Well, that game there, MX vs ATV Unleashed, is the only game I've actually found sealed while I've been out thrifting or buying lots, etc. So yeah, I've got a copy of it sealed. It's there. It's for sale. It's not in pristine condition, I'm amazed at some of these guys that find, when they're out buying stuff and thrifting and stuff, find these in pristine condition sealed games. But mine's not. Mine has a big split on the front in this sort of area here. But this version of it has sold. So, as we say, glad to see that going out the door. We then have here our 2 separate. So that's all on eBay. Nice small stuff going out on eBay. Most of this will just go in like a $2.20 envelope. I have special boxes that I get from Officeworks for my hats. So they'll possibly, they'll both go in one of those because of the style of them. That'll just go in a padded envelope again, and so will the game there. But then these 2 have sold on Depop and Poshmark. So first up, we have the Wrangler Cowboy Cut. This is a purple paisley print. Double pocket front. It's not pearl snap, but it is vintage, made in USA. So a super nice piece there. I picked it up for $3, and that has sold to a guy who has bought multiple times off of me through Poshmark. I had it listed for $130. He gave me an offer for $100, which ultimately I went, I'm not gonna cry over. he's bought well off me in the past. He's given me great feedback. I know he's a great buyer. He trusts my stock, so I'm happy to sell that to him for $100. So really nice piece going out the door. Just really cool find. Like that's such a nice feeling shirt. Like so good that fabric is. But yeah, that's gone. And then the ugly Christmas sweater. We are coming up to Christmas, and my ugly Christmas sweater has sold on Depop for $30. So that's going to head out as well. So if you do have some of these sorts of pieces, guys, really good to get them up on at the moment. Ugly Christmas sweaters, Christmas shirts, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that is what we have sold, guys. Thank you for indulging me as I went through a bit of my mental journey there. You know, it's been a 4-year process or so that I've been going through, 4 or 5 year process to sort of get to the stage this year where I'm feeling confident in myself, comfortable. You know, I've been through patches of like suicidal thoughts, not this year, but previously. And, you know, that's the reality of, you know, mental health challenges, and it's important to be open about talking about it and to be open about hearing it. And so I appreciate you guys being available, listening, being part of it. I'm going to go into outlining what we paid for all this sort of stuff and what we've gotten from it. So keep watching after this and you'll see a breakdown. But otherwise, guys, thank you so very much. Keep watching. I think we're going to cut back some videos at the moment because with Canberra reopening, I'm going to be on the road and busy a little bit, and so my days are going to be a little bit chocked up this week and maybe next week, and then I'll get back to having some time to film some more videos. But guys, thank you so much. If you're not a subscriber, please do. Hope you're doing well, and always remember, just keep flipping. Hey guys, so here is the financial breakdown. This was a much smaller weekend this weekend. Was saved a little bit by the $100 shirt sale, and I did sell a fair bit of product through my garage sale. So there's a little bit to go on there as well, but this is ultimately through those 3 portals, Depop, Poshmark, and eBay. So all up, our total sales value was $302.94. When you then take into account the cost of goods of $45.16 and our shipping or freight fees and listing fees, they come to $102.40. So when we take the $102.40 and the $45.16, that leaves us with essentially a net return of $155.38. So we're still sitting at around a 50% return, which is what we're looking for on our sales. That's my goal, because if I can be doing a bit over $1,000 a week in sales, which is my current target, I'm not quite there this week, but the last couple of weeks I have, well, then that means I'm bringing in around $500 to $600 for the amount of time I'm doing. So that really is a nice top up on top of the income that I'm getting, and covers my 2 days that I've taken to focus on the business and focus on my family. So guys, thanks again. Really appreciate it, and we will see you next week. Bye.